Hello, this is a video for the newest version of my Scorpion figure. This is version 3.3, so as you can see him here he is assembled, and we will be assembling him on this video. I will also show you some of the changes I made, some upgrades that improve the printing process and the figure overall. So I am selling files so that you can print this figure on your own. So there will be link in the bottom, and you could buy a subscription, and every new version of the files will be available to you. So this is basically the newest update. We started with version 1, this is version 3.3. So let me show you how the parts look, and we'll continue to assembly. Here you have him assembled. These are the parts that we'll be using for assembly, and this is 3.3 version of the figure. So before we start, here are some things that might be useful: pliers, a screwdriver. This won't really be needed, so it doesn't matter. I do recommend having a box of screws. This is the one I'm using, but I have few of them in a different kind, but that box is very useful. So here is the tray, here's the figure that we'll be assembling. There are some alternative versions that I will be showing you, some alternative parts, but for the most part this is what we'll be having. So let me move into the assembly. Okay, so let's begin working on the main torso. As you can see, it's already printed and removed from the print bed. So the first step would be to use this bar and insert it in so that it sticks out like this. Then you can slide this thing here. You can set it to the side so it does not slide back like this. Then you can slide this neck piece. In case you can try out the helmet first if this neck piece is stiff enough. If it's not, you can make it maybe a bit thicker, but I made it separate just in case that you wouldn't have to reprint the whole thing, just assemble, modify this part. So it's in here. Now we have to slide in those two parts, and there is a bit of leftover plastic here that I need to remove. So actually we did need this part. Okay, so we slide it in like this on the way. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I prefer that this indentation is in the front. So same with this. So it should hold by friction right now. As you can see, this can slide out, but you can glue it if you want. But I try to make my part so that for the most part they can be assembled, so that parts can be swapped. So we have this part here. As you can see, it has two holes, and now we insert this part here until it clicks. Just push this in, and there are also holes here. So now we can use those small like bars to insert it inside, and it would lock those parts. So they are now locked, but this part is also hollow, so that if there is a need to remove this part, you can put a drill inside and just with friction slide it out, so it's not really permanent. Okay, so we have this part ready. There will be some like small hairs there from the printing process, so they will fall off during the assembly. And one of the newest additions are those two parts here, and there's a groove here, and it helps to lock in both Scorpion and robot mode, so it doesn't slide out as easily. So at first it may be a bit tight, but with time it will be easier to pull out. And now we can attach those parts here. So also new addition, is just align them. New addition is that there are small openings here, and inside you have small teeth, and they help to give more friction. So there is a place for a ratchet like element here, but to further like optimize this, but in case you for different scales this will be more helpful, I think. So let me just align this. It should be fine, and we are using the short pins. I just slide them to the back. This one. Okay. And as you can see now, there is a ratchet movement. So there are steps. Oh, this one's tight. You can move it a few times at first, so just it loosens up. So yeah, this part is done. Let's just click it down for now to secure it. Now we have this stomach part and this crotch part. And this crotch part, before it was one part, and now it has like two parts. This is a basic part, and this is a part that slides to the back, and you can attach the tail. But in case you want to make a full comic version, you can do that. Just fix the lighting a bit. You can do that. It will do something like this. So you will have a clean back. Well, maybe with this I can make a cover for this clean back, and this is how the back of this looks like. But we want to make him transformable, so we will use this part, and you slide it in like this, and now we can attach this to the stomach part, and it does hold by friction. It does hold by friction, but for different scales the tolerances may be different. So this is a plate that can, for different scales, it can help to secure this connection, because it will have to hold a lot of weight. So you can just insert it like this, and you can use a screw. And I have a few different sizes, so that I know a one will fit. So depending on our accuracy, printer accuracy and settings, you may need to try out different screws, but they should bite into the plastic, and it should be a good fit. One of them should work, but I do recommend having like a box of them. So long screw is best, so it goes in to the whole crotch. Yeah. Let me just make sure that it's going in. So it's kind of tight, but it has to be, so it's like expanding the plastic and biting in. And okay, it's getting much tighter, so let's say maybe a few more turns just to make sure. Okay, so we have this. It can spin, and it's now, I mean, it's secure. Maybe if you super force it, it could break, but it's secure. And now we can place it in like this. So it kind of holds, but there are like two. You can use glue this to hold here, but since I want this to be like, easy to remove, I have two screws like this. They are from the box. I do not remember their size, but like I said, you have to try a few screws and see which one works for you. Sorry, I had to go off screen. I just had to make sure that those screws are because it was hard to align them, so off screen I aligned them so they're at the correct spots. And now when you push them, they should go in just fine. Okay, until you feel them like, let's just check. It's better not to overturn them too much, just until you feel a bit of... Okay, so it's now very secure. This thing slides a bit, but it doesn't really matter because it won't fall out. Okay, so we have this ready. This is the part that would go here, just to make it more comic-like, but we won't be using it. So let's move into this section here. So these are the main parts that will form the hips, and they go into those parts. And there's also an opening here that you can insert something like a ratchet joint. Usually I print them hollow so that they can contract, but for this assembly I won't be using it. So we'll be just using the regular like teeth and those teeth here. So usually I put the printed side on the inside. So this is how it goes, and you use the medium pen. It goes in, as you can see there's ratchet movement right now. Let's do the same with this. So just align them, insert the medium pen, and now just slide them in. They should be tight. If there's a problem, you can insert a slit of paper here or some cardboard just to push them to be more tight, but the way they are, they should be tight. And this one here. Okay, now we have those parts here. Usually, like before, I put the printed part on the inside, so this is how it slides. It can be tight at first. There are also teeth here and openings here that help to give friction. So yeah, this is it. And now we have those parts that go here, and the other one is here. So those parts are on the outside. So as you can see, there are also teeth here and teeth here, but there is also a place for things I call ratchet plates, and we will install them now so you can see how that works. I said ratchet plates, I think I meant friction plates. So the idea is so that if you print out all those parts and they are too loose, you don't have to print them all, you just have to reprint those small plates that will help with tension. So I can see this has like small teeth and it will bite into those plates. So the way you do it is you have two of those that have an arrow, two with like a square opening, and two like this. The second ones are, but you won't be needing those small ones right now. So make sure that this is on the outside for this leg, and let's just slide this in and slide this in with the arrow facing up. And as you can see, those bars are aligning with the holes. So now what we have to do is just slide it. It can be tight because you have to like wiggle them between those teeth. So, and if they pop off, you just rearrange them. Okay, so we have them like this. This is a knee part that will go here. This is at the bottom. So same as before, we have to slide them like this. So as you can see, they are like holding by friction, but they can like slide off. So now we use the pins that are used for upper legs. So this is also a small change, that I made them shorter so they won't stick out as much. So once you align them, you just have to push them, and as you can see, they are not sticking out right now. Make sure they are all the way in. Same with this one. But make sure that the holes are aligned, which will be a bit hard for me to do when also showing you this on the camera, but I think now they are aligned. Let's see. Yeah, so it's kind of tight, but okay. and now you can hear this is this ratchet movement. This can sometimes slide out, so it's kind of annoying. So at the end you may want to just glue this in so it doesn't like slide out, but if you hold it and let it like work for a moment, it should be okay. It's coming out, but the idea is that this is how it works. Okay, so after a few movements they should settle in, and then they won't be sliding out. Okay, so let's do the same with the other one, but perhaps a bit faster. So yeah, a bit of first aid. I damaged my finger. It was damaged earlier, but now it's hurting a bit, so that's why I put this on, just to have it being more safe. So same as before, once we align the other plate, we just insert this, make sure that it's in place, and I think this one is in place. Okay, and now let's use the longer pin. It is a lot easier to do when you have it in front of you. It's a lot of problems are caused by me showing you this at this strange angle. Okay, so we have those legs ready. So he's looking like this. So maybe we can work on the lower legs. So let me prepare them. So these are the parts used for lower legs. So we have those like back leg covers that you have to insert and align here. So for one leg and for the other. And as you can see, the legs are different because they have this connection point down here that helps them to align, but you can always align them by just watching that this has to be on the outside. So like before, we have a place here for a plate. We just insert it here and align this. So it actually, and of course I used the wrong part. This is the other leg, so this is the one we should be using. Okay, new plan. Put this plate here, put this down, so we make sure that the plate does not move. So now it's down there and everything is aligned. Now place this thing here, so we know that everything is where it's supposed to be. Okay, and now push in the pin. Okay, and the pin, okay, and now as you can see, the tension is right and he can hold his pose as well. And as before, you have to work it a bit so that those pins just stay in place and do not come out as much. So let's just push this one in. Let's maybe work it a bit. Should be fine. Okay, the other one, new method. First this, then make sure that this thing aligns. It's aligned. Now this. Okay, and I can see through the pin. Okay, and we did it. So this is the part that we have right now. Let's move the plastic residue to the side. I think I will be gluing those later on because it's kind of annoying so that they keep like popping out. Okay, so for him to stand, maybe let's do the lower leg, I mean the feet, but there's not much change here. So these are the parts for the leg. As you can see, I inserted those green pins already, and they are here to slide in those like grooves here to form friction. And the way you assemble this is we have parts like this, and we put this like this. This is a plate that helps to give more friction, so you have any problems, you can make this thicker. And you just, with this facing outside, you just slide this in. You can glue it later. There is a groove here that will have you to remove this if you have a need to. Well, this one is holding all by itself. So let's just slide this in. Okay. And now let's slide this in. Slide this in. Okay. And now he has his feet. He's standing on his feet. Let's just adjust the camera slightly. Okay, so he's turning out nicely. So to continue, let's give him his chest. So to do that, this is his chest part. This is a small orange part that you can put in. It can be transparent or not. I just glued this in, and you have this plate here. There are two kinds depending on the friction you want. One or the other might work. I'm using this, so they just plug in like this, and in case you need to remove them, there is an opening right now. It wasn't there before, and it can just slide out. And there are like small grooves here and small grooves here, and this will help this part to lock. So you have to push this in once it clicks, and it can sometimes need a bit of force, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to get the... Okay, I was able to get the leverage, and in case you need to pop this off, I left an opening here so you can just use something to pry this up. Okay, so we have the chest ready. We can insert those side panels here. They can be stiff also at first, so maybe like this. Okay, there's like a small expanding clip, so once it's on, it should be like, it should turn easily and not slide out easily. So but first, putting it in at first requires a bit of force, and let's just check if it's moving. It's moving. Okay, so it's coming out nicely. Let's do the elbows. Okay, so for the elbows, you have those parts, and there are openings at the bottom of those parts, and if you want to print it on a different scale, you can use them to add small friction plates. At this scale, it's not really needed. So what you do, you take this part here and insert this. You can see there are openings here, there are like teeth here, so it also gives this movement. So you insert this part here. First do it at this angle. Take this longer part with this opening facing down, just slide it in, and when you slide it, this should like maybe slightly move up, but as you can see, it's now closed. But this movement is moving this slightly, but doesn't matter for now. And this is the second part, and you do this like this. Take the shorter shield and place it like this. Place it like this, so it goes in the groove. And now take this part and slide it in like this. Just wiggle it in, and now if you rotate it, those parts are locked and they are like holding in. And to further secure it from moving, we can use this. We slide it to the back, and this front part has a expanding clip that will clip in here. So you just clip one part, the other part, and now you have a working elbow like this. So let's fast forward with the second one, but I need one more part. So again, this can be printed like this or like this, so you have to test both, what works better for you. So this one here, this is, oh, we need a longer shield. Yeah, this is a longer shield, so, or cover or whatever, I don't know how to call it. This short one, place it like this, just wiggle it, this in those grooves, slide this in like this. Okay, now rotate it like this, put this in, and now you can put this in here. Oh, okay, and for now let's just slide those parts in here, just so that we have some like room, right? So that they are not laying around, because we'll be doing the claws next. So these are the parts needed for the claws. So we have the base here, and we also have pins, and they are made in such a way that this part is thicker, so you have to insert them like this, but because they need to be, okay, this one went in quite nicely, this one too, but you may need to use something to push them like down. So this one is a bit stubborn, so let's use this to push this down, then make sure that they are down all the way. And now this is the other part, so now we can insert the big finger, and it goes like this. Same with the small finger, goes like this, so make sure that they are all the way down. You can test if there should be a bit room between the top and the upper side. So now we have the fingers, so we just slide them in like this. Okay, and we can slide them in here in this part. These are the covers, the top covers, so they are a bit tricky to print. So one version has like a plate in between them, and it sometimes helps to stop any deformities. So you can need to test with the settings which one works best for you. Okay, and now we can put this here. So let's just wiggle it in because it may be a bit stiff. Oh, I think that the top of the pin has some residue plastic, so let me remove it before we continue. Okay, should be okay now. Okay, so it went in, and once we have it like this, we have two covers, and they look similar, but they are a bit differently shaped. So place this. Oops, this one fell out. So once you secure everything, it won't be possible for it to fall out, but you can also glue it in. So put this in this part here, and first align to see if they are the correct, and I think we managed to get the correct one. So adjust the angle a bit, and there is like a clip here that goes into this part, so you can do it like this. You can either push it from this side and push it until it clips, or the other way around. First put this one and then the other. So I think I'll do this one right now. So this one, and maybe slightly bend this. It should, like, oh, you see it clipped in, and it's not aligned properly because this is the wrong side. Again, I always get the wrong side. So now let's just rise it and use the other one. So yeah, and it's all because I just don't have this in front of me. So oh, okay, as you can see, it clipped a lot better. And did it? No, it did not. And I broke the clip. So yeah, I have another one ready, but for the sake of this video, let's just keep it like this, and I will show you on the other one how it works. So moving it down, this goes in here, this goes in here, this goes in here. Let's push this down. Okay, it went down, this went down, this went down. Big finger, I already had this assembled, so this part, small finger, this cover. Now let's assemble this. Okay, and now for this panel, this one, and it should, yeah, and this one clipped into place correctly because this was the right one. This one may be a bit loose right now because I mismanaged the assembly, but I have to work with that. Okay, so moving up, we can do the shoulders. I won't be inserting those parts here, but there's a way to show you how you do it, or maybe I will. Just let me remove them from the printing thing. So they look like this. They can be thinner or thicker, it depends on you, and you just have to place them inside here. It's easier said than done. Of course, it's very hard. But once they're on, you see they are like slide on this and grab on this part. Same with this one. Because of the teeth, they are not really needed, but if you will be printing them on a different scale, they might come in handy. So I will be leaving those kind of openings from my future projects, just because I know a lot of you want to print them at the bigger scales. So this is like another way to work with them later on. Okay, so this one is in, and it's like this. Okay, and let's slide in the shoulders. You can make this part thicker to help the shoulders be like more secure. So right now I'm sliding this in like this, so yeah, we have those shoulders ready. Now for the shoulder guns, let me just check if I have them. So shoulder guns work like this. They are made of two parts, and the way you insert them, you have to put this, as you can see, they are like, one side is like closer to the, it's not in at the center, it's like closer to the bottom, and this is how it has to be. So you just move it like this, twist, or the other way around. So yeah, so this is how only one way will work. So you have to twist, and now they won't slide out because there's a block, and they have this, they won't slide out, and they have this movement, and there's a clip here that should clip in here. So it works. This one is already assembled. Come on. Okay. it's expanding clip, so you have to force it sometime. Okay, so we have this. Let's move into the head. So these are the parts that are made for the head, and there's the bigger change is the antennas. Previously there were one part, and the way they are printed, there's always this this angle here is easy to break. So it was often that you can just right now it's removed. Let's try this one. If it breaks, of course it doesn't break right now, but trust me, they are very easy to break. Okay, just to show my point, I got two more. So as you can see, they are easy to knock off. If in case it falls, they are just easy to break. But that's because they print it like this, and also the lower side is also often has like some mistakes. So those new ones are printed like this. This one is printed like this, and this one is printed flat. So because it's printed flat, it's extremely strong, the strongest way you can print things, and you can just slide one into another and just plug them in, and they should have the similar shape. This side was on the bed, so it's slightly has a different texture, so I prefer to swap them. So this one here, and also this one like this here. So now they are very strong, and they won't break. You can twist them, do whatever, and they won't break. And for the eyes and the face, there are two faces, so you can just attach one to the other like this, and you have to actually not plug them in but slide them out from below. So there are like two grooves here. You just have to put them and slide them, and this is because right now if the ball joint pushes on this side, it won't push this off. So if we adjust this angle here, we can now just slide this head here, and as you can see, it's secure. You can slightly move it up or down to have him look down. So basically with this we have if we had this part, the regular part here, we would have the comic version ready, but we can of course continue. And next we'll be using the Scorpion legs, the outboard legs. So let me adjust the camera again. Let me just make sure that every leg is here because there are quite a lot. And the older version looks very similar. It also has this like groove you see here, but this is a bit loose, right? And the new version, those parts here now have if it can focus, as you can see, have like small teeth here, and the legs that go inside also have them. So when they slide on this, and you can hear it. It's like a ratchet movement right now. So but let me get legs with the better looking bottom. Okay, I got slightly different legs. The difference is that those one were printed on the raft, so you can see there is a bit rugged surface, and this one were printed straight on the bed, so as you can see the bottom surface is very nice. So those two parts there are some leftover like plastic clips here. Let me just remove them. You can scrape them off. Usually you can use a blade or whatever. We slide them in like this. Okay, and the second one, we can slide them in so they just don't flop around. Okay, and now we insert those legs. No, the other way. So this has to be facing like this. So what I like to do is just to put one on the side, push it in and move the pin so it locks. Same with this. Push this down. Push this down and move the pin until it locks. And by locks I mean when it goes into this like square hole. And push this a bit more down. Okay, and it went in. And maybe you can hear. I don't know if it's picking up, but there's this like movement. Okay, and I did this upside down. Of course, always when I make a video, I do something like this, so I apologize. But now like this. Just align this and okay, it's in. Let's do this for the other side just to secure it. So maybe remove this kind of plastic part here. So push this in and push in the pin. Come on. You know what? This is because sometimes when you remove the pin, this slight edge is left over from the printing bed. So usually it's not there, like you see saw at the other ones, but this one still has it. So this is a very slight like a layer of plastic. You see very very little one, but it prevents this shape from going in. So just slightly cut this. Try to show you on the, so you can see very very little slit of plastic, and now I think yeah, of course, now I think it should work fine. I am purposely showing you any like mistakes or problems that I have, so you know that these things happen, even if I'm assembling it for like the 50th time, maybe. I don't know how many prototypes I have made. So now let's just slide those in, just wiggle them in. You can move them to the side and just keep inserting those pins. Okay, and okay, this one went in, this one went in, same with those. Okay, this one has to wiggle in. Okay, one went in, and the last one. Okay, and I'm using my finger now, but they can be pushed a bit further, just so they go into those grooves, so you can just use anything to push them down. Maybe I will use what to use. Maybe this thing. This will be a good shape. No, I don't remember what I was using last time. Maybe let's use this one. No, I'm not sure. Maybe this was the one I was using. So just push them down a bit. It's very slight, but it's, oh, you can see they are going in just a slight bit down. Okay, so we have this ready, and it's now very secure. Each part is like holds the shape. And now these are the second parts of the legs. You can just like snap them in. Okay, and just move them like 2 times to make sure that they are like they are moving freely. So if there's any leftover plastic, so it just shaves off. This one, now this one. Okay. Okay, now this one. Okay, and same with the other one. And as you can see, there's a opening here and there are holes here, and you can, for the bigger parts, you can use something to secure those legs further. So this one goes in. This one goes in. This one. And this one. Okay, let's move this plastic. And you have this part here. It can now like extend and from the Scorpion legs, and it's actually should be very secure. And for the back part, the new addition is that you have grooves here, and you have grooves like a lip here, and when you connect it to the back, it has this like a sliding movement, so it helps to secure positions. So let's move into the back. Okay, I got a longer screw, so I think I got one that was too short before. You can of course glue this in, but it's always better to use this. So this one should work. Yeah, it's a bit longer, just not too long. As you can see, it's not, yeah, still need more turns. Come on. Just not too much, maybe, so that it can slide up or down. It's sliding, maybe just one more turn. Yeah, it should be okay. Make sure that after you do this, if the screw is too long, you may have a problem with, if it goes too much inside the chest, you may have a problem with extending this or turning this around. So make sure that it's possible after you do this. But yeah. Okay, I'm knocking everything down, so make sure that you are able to, yeah, it turns freely, it's okay. I will leave those panels off right now because I need to secure them better, but for this moment they are not needed. Okay, this part now. Let's do this part. Those parts go to the side, and let's take care of the tail. Okay, so this is the tail part. As you can see, we have one assembled here, and the one change I made is that those parts were like a slight angle, which looked interesting, but as you can see, there were many like printing errors. So the new version, the parts are round, and it's much easier to print and to hold the shape. Also, this was the earlier version of the hinge, so it went like this. It was like this. The new version looks like this, and it has it's printed flat, so the bottom layer doesn't look as bad. It's also stronger, and it has this like thing here and openings here, and they are teeth on the inside. And now it's of course secure with the pin, but when it's up, it locks. So when the Scorpion is on the back, the tail, it helps to lock, and it just like it's holding better. So that's what we'll be doing. Okay, so to do that, let's just start moving those parts in. So just slide this in, and we'll be securing this with the longer pin. Okay, that's in. Now let's put this one inside. Yeah, this one. So it's really very straightforward. Okay, now this one maybe. The order is what you prefer. There is not really a set order. It should be very easy to understand what has to be done. So there's really not much to talk about, but if those pins are too strong, you can use a hammer to hammer them in, but as you can see in this case they're fine. I may be doing it too fast, so I don't want to like rush and break something. I think it should be fine. And this filled up this detail here. As you can see, there are present this filled on the bed, but it doesn't really matter much. Different printers will give different results, so if it's aligned, it's aligned. Okay, now this one. Okay. And for the tail, usually this is all the top version, but for the tail I invert it so that the bottom is on the top, and I do this because on the Scorpion mode this is how it's visible, so the top version is more visible, and this is how I prefer it to look. Okay, so we have this, and now we just need to have the hinge. I won't break anything. Okay, this is the longer pin. Okay, and now this one, is it like this, okay. So it's aligned. Okay, and it went and in, so here's the new tail. And one of the scarier parts right now is sometimes when I had the whole Scorpion ready, I broke this part. So that's why now it's separate. Just in case I break it, I just have to slide in a new one, not to reprint and reconnect the whole crotch. So let's put this in and move it up, and one of my lights failed, so I need to help myself with this one. Sorry if it got a bit darker. And as you can see, this is aligned, and now we move the pin and just push it in, and it's okay. Now the tail in robot mode is like this. So aside from the panels on the cloud that we have to reattach, I think he is done. So let's clean him up a bit and make a test transformation. So I installed the panels so we can move to the transformation, but before we do that, I would like to show you two more things. First thing, as you can see on this prototype, I will be adding small like parts that you can print and put in as detail. I used to use stickers, but it was very annoying to cut them out, so you can also print a small layers of plastic like this and place them. And also another thing is that you can print the feet with the place for a nut, I think so. Anyway, a place for insert something metal, so it like has a better balance. So I think actually this one uses the bigger one, so you can use the bigger one to add a bit of weight to him. So anyway, let's move into the transformation. So to do that, we have to first, let's rotate him back. And if you are posing him, you can do something like this, that you can move his leg back a bit and make a compensation with his crotch. So now he's not really that back heavy. He has this like a little chicken leg movement. So this will help with balancing him. Okay, to continue to transform, unplug this and move it back. Slide this whole assembly down. Move this whole section up. So this is the first time we're transforming him, so I don't know if anything will fall off or worse, but it shouldn't. Rotate it 180 degrees. Move the arms up and move it down until it locks. Okay, so it's locked right now. Okay, we can move this part slightly higher. Rotate this assembly here. You can extend the tail just so it's a bit stiff at first, but just out of the way. Lift those panels, rotate this like this and push it all the way. Same with this, rotate it and push it all the way. Okay, with the tail like this, like flat, first lower leg, it's a bit stiff. First lower leg, then the upper leg. As you can see, this is still rotating, so I have to secure it later. And then the upper leg, same here. First the lower leg, and then the upper leg. Okay, and now move the tail back and like move those parts. Have to move in between those parts, and they should like everything should like aligned. And now you can slightly lift the tail and it will grab on those two parts. You can align everything, make the tail like this, extend the scorpion legs, let's make them like this. Now they have a locking point, so it will be easy to position them in the same way. And you can move it further, but I think I tend to move it back. And let's adjust the camera. So position the tail, rotate those cannons. And if you would have a logo here, you can rotate this so it's facing forward. So yeah, we have a Scorpion mode ready. Of course, it does require some of adjustments, like those pin has to be like moved around a bit, so it's easier to manipulate. But so far, I think it's working fine. So let's do a fast transformation to the robot mode. It's better to use this part to slide it in, just so the leg doesn't like disconnect. The lower legs are really stiff. Okay, and the cannons fell off. But don't worry, that's why they are made like this, so they, instead of breaking, they can just disconnect and you can reconnect them later. So that's intentional, actually. Those legs, let's move those legs. down, move the whole upper torso section and rotate it and lock it. Maybe let's move the arms first. Okay, and then move it back, rotate this leg assembly here, move the guns up. If this was a logo, you can rotate it, and I like to put those up like wings. And you can, if you want, you can leave the tail, but the intentional way is to just plug it back. And this is the way it looks. And the drawings from the comic, he had this sticking up behind his head, so that's why it's made like this. So yeah, he is done. Let's just make sure that his feet are flat and that everything is correctly positioned. Okay. Yeah, so now you can position him any way you want. You can add the screaming face. I unfortunately do not have it handy right now, but yeah, you can do that. Those parts can hinder some movement, but you can work around it. You can move them slightly down to allow for this kind of movement. So it's possible to work around any problems like this. So yeah, this is him. This is version 3.3. You can find the files on my page. Whenever there's a new idea or update, I will be adding it. So this is the stage we are on right now. I would like to focus on some new projects, but every now and then when I came up with some idea and I have some time, I'm working on this, just because it takes a lot less time than they're making a whole new project. And this is like a actually less stressful, if I can call it that, for me to work on this, because it's, I do not get anxiety from a new design, just reworking this one, but I should start working on a new one soon. So yeah, Scorpnock assembled. Thank you and take care.